Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Learn with Neil. I'm here with my first lesson on how to speak in English effectively. So this video doesn't necessarily focus on grammar, rather on speaking. What do we need to do to be better speakers, to better communicate with others? And what goes on in our heads while we speak? What is the essential aspect of speaking? What does our brain do before speaking? When you speak to someone, especially in English, you think a lot, right? Because it is not your native tongue. It takes a lot of effort to translate the thoughts from your native tongue into English. And that's where grammar comes. It is a vital aspect if you're not a native speaker of English. You do not get habituated with English. You do not get people to practice it with. You need to speak into your head. You need to translate your thoughts all the time. So that's why maybe many of us struggle speaking in English. When we speak, our brain thinks of the tense first. You see, we do not exist without tense. Everything, every sentence that you speak is either in present, past, or future. You may try to think of a sentence without these three tenses, but you won't be able to come up with anything. So all our sentences, all our thoughts are expressed through these three tenses: past, present, future, and their subcategories: simple or indefinite, continuous or progressive, perfect, and perfect continuous. How is tense expressed? Now that you know that tense is the most vital aspect, your brain thinks of the tense first, and then it uses something to express that tense. What is that thing? It is the verb. You see, tense is expressed through verbs. So to communicate your thoughts, you need to know plenty of verbs, right? And the tenses, all the 12 tenses, if you want to speak well. How do verb and tense complement each other? Whatever thoughts come up in your head, in your native tongue, your brain thinks of the tense first. Suppose you are hungry now. So your brain thinks about it. Okay, I'm hungry now. I need to eat now. And that's when you maybe call your mother or your father, or maybe you just go to the kitchen, right? When you call your mother and say, I am hungry, mom, you use am. I am hungry. You do not say I was hungry. Now, to a kid learning English for the first time, he or she may confuse it. Right? What to use? Do we use am is are, or do we use was were? A kid that has never listened to anyone speaking in English will obviously struggle. So you need to teach that kid the basic verbs, right? So that he or she can communicate. And that's where verbs and tense are of integral importance. That's where we teachers teach students about tense and verbs first. Yes, obviously, we make them repeat what we utter. A for apple, B for ball, and all that, right? But we also need to teach them tenses, at least the basics, starting with maybe simple present, present continuous, simple past, and past continuous. These are the basics that you need, fundamental aspects of speaking. So your brain thinks of the tense first. It realizes, okay, I'm going to speak this particular thing, and for that I need that tense, and to express that tense I need that verb. Okay, you need to know the structure and also the usage of all the tenses. For example, if you need to speak a sentence in present continuous, what do? A kid or a student that doesn't know the structure of present continuous may not be able to speak a sentence in present continuous. The structure of present continuous is subject, then be verb, which includes am, is, are for the present tense, then comes the ing form of the verb, right? And then objects, complements, adverbs, etc. So if you know this structure, you may apply the same thing, right? If you are hungry now, if you are going to eat something now, or whether you want to express something that you are doing now. For example, if you say, okay, there are plants in my garden and I'm going to water them now. So you're thinking about it, okay, you are going to water the plants now. An action that is happening right at the time of speaking, an action that is going on while we speak, is expressed in present continuous. And for that, the structure is subject, be verb, am is are, V4, which is the present participle form of the verb, and then others, which include object, complement, adverbs, etc. So if you know this structure, making that sentence in your head becomes easy for you. Like I, then you put am after it, because I, the pronoun I takes am after it in present continuous. I am watering, to give water to something. Watering what? The object, the plants, and then the time, now. I am watering the plants now. So that's how verbs and tense go in tandem. That's how they complement each other. To speak effectively, you need to learn your tenses and obviously the verbs, because whatever tense you learn will be expressed through the verbs. So learning those structures are essential. Okay, they are essential structures to learn. All the tenses, all the 12 tenses, they are structures. Otherwise, someone who is not a native learner, someone who does not have any exposure to speaking in English, will struggle. You need tense and you need verb, fundamentally. You may learn nouns, pronouns, adjectives quite fast. You may find them easy. But verbs and tense is a different ballgame altogether. So in this lesson, I wanted to just mention to you, okay, how does your brain work? What do you think? Your brain thinks of the tense and then uses the verb according to that tense to communicate your thoughts. So next time you speak or try to speak in English, you need to remember your tenses and of course the verbs, the structure. It's essential. If you haven't been listening to English, if you haven't been listening to maybe people communicating in English, sports commentaries, if you're not reading newspapers or not listening to news channels, you will struggle. You need to translate your thoughts constantly, right, from your native tongue into English. For that, you need a sound knowledge of grammar, especially how tense and verb works. That's where I end my video today. Remember to focus. In my upcoming videos, I'm going to teach you about the usage of verbs, about all the tenses and their structures, when they are used and how to use them effectively so that you can speak your thoughts properly. Thank you. Let's wait for the next video. Let's see what I can come up with in our next lesson. For now, good night.